Hello and welcome to the meeting of the Northfield Select Board, currently being shown on BNC TV, which you can find on YouTube. Today is June 16th, 2026, and I'm calling this meeting to order at 6 o'clock on the dot. A punto. We're going to start with scheduled appointments, and our first order of business is to appoint a new assistant town clerk. Tara Miller, welcome. And Amanda Hall is our town clerk. So Amanda's just going to give us an overview of the process. Who else was on the committee?
Bernie and I.
Yeah, Bernie, the perennial, our stalwart select board member on all of our hiring committees. So welcome. Why don't you talk a little bit about the position and the candidate, and we have all of her info.
Yeah, so this is Tara. She really impressed us in the interview process, both rounds. She did a great job. We liked her skills and experience and willingness to learn all the many responsibilities of the town clerk's office. So she will be appointed tonight and then start in July. She had a planned vacation, so we'll see her in a little while.
Good. Bernie, do you want to say anything about the process?
No, I mean, she stood out among the candidates. That, it was quite evident. I read through all the candidates' qualifications.
Yeah.
And then when she came in, I was even more impressed. Because you can't, resumes and that can be misleading. Everybody looks good on a resume, but she was, definitely the top candidate. So I was glad to be able to get her.
Good. Any questions or comments from the rest of the board?
None whatsoever.
Shane, do you have any?
I do not.
Okay, I just want to mention Shane Duclos is joining us via Zoom. I'll just say that what I was really impressed with was somebody who seems to have a keen eye for detail, which I think is a huge requirement in the town clerk's office because you're dealing with people's information, like death certificates, birth certificates, voting, marriage, that too. I've forgotten all about that. But, and then also you're a key contact with all of the committees as well. So you get to know everybody in town and kind of help them, especially the new ones who get appointed, because we're doing a bunch of appointments tonight. So you'll probably start meeting them in July, and reappointments where they have to come in and get sworn in and all that good stuff. So we're happy to have you here.
I'm very excited.
Good. Do you have any questions for the board?
I don't think so.
Are you familiar with, let's see, you're up in Shelburne Falls, so you're
Yes.
familiar with the town meeting and the select board process and all that good stuff. Okay. Do you want to, let's see, I
Okay.
have her
Sure.
letter.
I have it right
Oh,
here.
okay, that's right.
I motion that we appoint Tara Miller to the position of Assistant Town Clerk with a start date of July 20th, 2026. This is a part-time, non-benefited position. The rate of pay is $22.92 an hour, grade 6, step 1.
Motion and a
Second.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Do we need to do a roll call because we have,
No.
no, okay. We have a clear aye from Shane, aye from me, and it's unanimous. So thank you. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
See you in about a month.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
yeah, well, I'll stop in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thanks.
yeah.
You have some big shoes to fill.
Oh.
Just one.
Here we go.
I couldn't resist that. Sorry.
Yeah. He's the previous assistant town clerk.
Nothing like tooting your own
Well,
horn.
hey,
Good, I'll have to ask you a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Size 7 shoes? 8?
2.
2? You'll do just fine.
Yeah, he's going to focus on his select board career
Yeah.
for now, yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
Great.
Great. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Okey doke. All right. Tom, you're up. How are you? you? Good.
You look tan.
I was gonna say. Well, he does work outside though, you know.
Yeah, and the weather's been
Hopefully it was
nice,
good
too.
tan.
Yeah. Where would you like to start? So we had you down for a seasonal update. I'm assuming paving, tree cutting, things like, and other priorities are on your lengthy list.
Yeah.
So where would you like to start?
I don't care. We can start with the possible paving projects. It's, you know, it depends on the rain
Yeah.
and how the whole summer goes. I don't want people to get all excited about things, but
Well, as soon as we get optimistic about what we're going to get done, then the weather starts working its ugly magic. So
Warwick Road's one of the, we're gonna do more on Warwick Road, but we got a lot of work to do on Warwick Road as well. East Street, part of School Street, from, not down obviously to the bridge they're gonna be working on, probably from the fire station to the intersection of East and Dickinson. Dickinson's another one, we're almost ready to get that, we gotta put a culvert in there. Other than
Oh.
that, we're ready on that one.
where are you putting the culvert?
There's already one in there, it just needs to be replaced
Oh.
on the, down, on the corner, on the sharp corner, kinda, it drains
On the
from
bend?
way up back.
Okay.
And then Turnpike and Commonwealth with any luck.
Okay.
The paving prices, I think they changed 50 cents, which I thought they were gonna change a lot more, so that's a good thing, I mean, it's still.
They've gone up by 50 cents?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think we're paying,
Just by
I
50
think it was
cents?
103 that we're paying this year a ton in place.
okay.
Then, you know, we got our regular maintenance that we're obviously, it's ongoing all the time, grading of the roads, we're pretty, almost done with that. We got a couple more to do and those will be all completed.
Tommy, when do you usually start grading? Because I've had people call and,
Oh, we've been grading for a month now.
okay,
It just takes, it depends on where we are, we try to look at the worst, the heavy traffic, and we started down in the farms, we still got a couple more to go back and do down there. We didn't finish, the down along the river where there's no houses, we leave that till last.
okay.
Sometimes it depends on the weather too, where we can do, like this week, we kinda got messed up, cause they have the big, the camping with all the kids on Alexander Hill.
Yeah.
So we finished everything downtown today, and then we were gonna go to Alexander Hill, and I forgot they travel up and down all, it's not worth it, cause they're up there all week. So we'll wait till Monday to finish there, and then we gotta go back down to the farms.
I see you're working on Old Wendell Road, the lower end, is that what
Yeah,
I'm
we did
seeing?
those yesterday, and they finished up School Street area today.
How about upper end of Old Wendell Road, because
That's been done for a couple weeks now.
okay.
When
Yeah,
you
we
say,
did that.
when
Well,
you-
we had a tree down up there a couple weeks ago, but
okay.
yeah, we finished that 2 weeks ago, and then last week we did Orange Road all week.
Perfect,
So
okay.
we're working our way around. 4 Mile Brook was done. All on the other side of the river is all done. Like I said, all we really got is Alexander Hill and Pine Meadow,
How
Okay.
many miles do you have?
21
21 miles?
of dirt. We've been waiting on the spray too. We spray the dust control, which also tightens the road. But they can only bring 5,500 gallons at a time, and that's all I got room for storage for, so I have to empty that, and then I try to make it so it works out that when the roads are ready, we get them rolled and get them sprayed, then it absorbs in better.
Yeah.
So that's actually benefited us not being able to do, because they can't bring any until Monday. So it's benefited us on Alexander
Okay.
Hill.
Oh, okay,
So,
that's good.
When you say grading, Tom, what exactly do you mean for the uninitiated?
cleaning all the ditches and then digging the road down probably 3 to 4 inches, and then some roads adding gravel to them.
Okay, kind of to level them out.
To level
and-
everything, all the potholes, we go down through and clean all the ditches, open the culverts first, and then if it's dry enough, you can actually bring a lot of the gravel back from the winter. The plows push everything, some stuff to the
Oh, because it's
side.
all awash.
Because your road
Yeah,
is crowned,
okay.
and when you're plowing, sometimes you plow that crown off to
Sure.
either side. The potholes are the main thing. And you're also playing with the weather with grading. I mean, if it's gonna rain for 2 or 3 days and you got it loose, it does nothing but make mud. So and then it's harder to regrade it.
Okay.
So, and then the one big project we're hoping, and we're still waiting, it's back, our part of it's ready, is the section of Warwick Road out here. And it's really bad from East Street to Burnham Road.
Oh, yeah, where it
Uh,
dips down.
Yeah, and it's all ratty. I know a lot of people are upset because we've been patching the bigger potholes, but I don't wanna waste a lot of money on it, cause we're hopefully digging it up.
Okay.
Our engineering is all done, but we're working with the water department because their water main is in the road. So they also use the same engineer to engineer the water main. They have to find a contractor and the money to replace the water main from Burnham to East Street. And I've been told they wanna come all the way to Main Street with the new water line, but they're looking for grants, they're looking for like a loan or something, I think, last I heard. Cause they don't wanna use up all the money they have. You know, if they have another major break or something, they obviously need the money.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, once we start, we all gotta work together, so, and I'm hoping the end of July, like I said, our stuff got passed through the conservation, I think it was a week ago.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to put this off.
Well, cause they'll be digging up the same place we're digging.
Yeah, I know.
So that's, and they still gotta find a contractor to do the work.
Isn't it a little late for that?
Well, they've been back and forth on the engineering portion of it as well.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be tough, I think, to find a contractor to work in the time frame that it's gonna happen, but, hopefully there's somebody out there that's reasonable, that's be able to work it in. Cause like, we gotta dig it down 4 feet deep all the way up through, and the water line's at like 4 feet to 5 feet deep.
Oh, yikes.
It's challenging, and the other thing that's gonna happen, I don't know if you heard anything, Andre, on the bridge out there. We got they're gonna fix the beam on the Warwick Road Bridge, and it was supposed to be done this summer.
We got the letter, but I haven't heard anything since we got the
I
letter.
went to the meeting, they said that everything was in play. There's some stakes out there, but I haven't seen anybody or heard from the state, but that'll be a little tricky too, because that's gonna be down to one lane, just past the big intersection. Where the 5-way intersection where you go up St. Mary's or Turnpike.
Oh.
There's a bridge just up the street, but they're gonna put from what I understand at the meeting, they're gonna put a traffic light on both sides for alternating traffic. They were thinking of detouring traffic up around the dirt part of School Street, and it's gonna be an inconvenience for people, there's no doubt. Number one, you still get School Streets closed, and then we'll have
Yeah.
possibly the upper part of Warwick Road. So everybody will have to go over St. Mary's or go all the way down Burnham Road to
Okay.
Pine Street.
Can we double check on that?
Yeah, I'll look back. I know I have an email from a little bit
Yeah, I haven't
ago, but I haven't heard anything lately.
No, the town of Gill also got one, and they haven't heard. I talked to them, and
Okay.
so I'm thinking they said it's a repair of a beam and the edges. It's not a huge project, but it was supposed to be done this summer. What I was told, as soon as school was out and before school started again. Well, school's out today, so.
Yeah, so now's the time. Well, I mean, we're
So
heading into
Warwick
summer.
Road's gonna be a busy
We are in summer.
hot spot for people if there's an alternative route, they probably, once everything starts, it's.
Okay.
want it.
Yeah.
So when we figure that out,
I'll definitely give the dates, and
so we can get that on the website
Yeah.
and give people a heads
I think
up.
the engineer, he emailed me tonight and said I think he's meeting with the water department Thursday.
Okay.
So hopefully I might have a few more
Is
answers.
this Weston and Sampson or?
No,
somebody
it's a
else?
private,
Oh, okay.
Jeff. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name.
Okay.
Mello
mind.
or something like
Never
that. He's
mind.
from Shelburne.
Okay.
And he's also working on helping us for the repair of the Pratt Hollow culvert out there, the wing walls and stuff that were deteriorating, and then there's a sinkhole develops in the middle of the road all the time because the boxes are coming apart.
Okay.
So that's, as soon as he gets this project all done, he's working on that project out there. So hopefully that's just gonna be a repair, not as big a job as originally thought for. He thinks it can be jacked up and fixed and put some new wing walls on each side to protect everything.
How long of a job is that, do you think, approximately?
Well, that would be probably a 3 or 4 week
Oh,
job,
okay.
and that, but we gotta get through the conservation, all that with that portion of it. He has to get the paperwork in.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna call MassDOT. We had just had a meeting with Senator Comerford anyway, and we had talked about doing a proactive, like, list of other things with MassDOT, like traffic enforcement stuff from the police chief. And so if there's anything else that you want us to discuss with MassDOT, we can add it to the list.
Yeah, that was the only thing that right now we're waiting
Okay.
on, so.
No, and then we have the small bridge grant, but
Yeah.
they've been in touch. I mean,
They've been out actually drilling. I talked to them
Right.
yesterday. They have the big core part of their drilling to find bedrock. They finished that yesterday, and now they have, I think he said 4 more small holes, but he needs
Yeah.
a different machine to come in, and then, so the engineering's moving forward on the school street. It's just
Okay.
taking some time.
Yeah, they
Okay.
did, in April, they did the markings for the test borings, and
Yeah.
then they were getting stream sample. And then they let us know that June 8th, starting June 8th, they were doing the
Yeah.
drillings, the borings. And hopefully then they'll let us know when the mobilization, I mean, June 8th, they started the drillings, but then,
Yeah.
once they've done all their analysis, I'm assuming they'll give us a timeline. They've been fairly good, that's Fuss and
Yeah.
O'Neill.
Yeah.
They've been pretty good about
Their
keeping in
timelines are
touch.
pretty, yeah, and their timelines are usually right on it, so.
Yeah.
And this guy was hoping to, he knows he was gonna take that drill rig out, but he said he needed another one yesterday. He was hoping they would be able to switch them right out so he could get the other part of the drilling done for the
Okay.
testing.
Okay.
So hopefully that's another project that'll move forward. I mean, by the time everything's done, it won't be this year, but.
Okay.
And then hopefully there's maybe some grants out there to help us with it too, once we get some paperwork. I think another round of grants just coming out or.
Yeah, the small bridge grant, we have the small bridge engineering
Yeah.
grant, and then you have to wait for the next small bridge grant. So once you get the engineering done, you can then apply for the construction funding.
Okay.
And they come
The
out
next
in
part of the
cycle.
cycle.
Yeah,
Yeah, next
Yeah.
phase in the
but
cycle.
I think it's coming up, because they were talking about it at our highway supers meeting. that
Okay.
There was gonna be, there's certain ones opening at certain times, they all
Yeah.
open at different times. and-
Congrats, by the way, to you and Andrea on the big grant that we got. We talked about at the last meeting, the equipment that you.
equipment grant?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That was the dirt roads
yeah,
grant, so we're just waiting for them to send the contract. As
yeah.
soon as they send the contract, then he can buy his equipment.
So are you already kind of like shopping online?
Yeah.
Get quotes, so he knows roughly where.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but your mower,
That's been ordered, it should be here. He told me that when I ordered it, he said it was 30 to 90 days, probably around the 60 day. We're at about 45 days from when it was ordered. So
okay.
he said it's a better lead time now than it was a year ago.
Yep.
And they're really kind of excited to get one in this area, because they've shown a lot of them, but they want people to see what it can really do.
Will this take the place of the one that you're currently
Yeah.
using?
Yeah, yeah, we've been having a lot of problems. Been working through it. But
Yeah, I know, I see him, yeah.
Yeah, I
Out there and
mean,
about.
we're trying to use it as little as possible, so,
So that will then go on the market, somebody will try to,
yeah.
No
He was
surplus.
Couldn't
gonna
trade
look,
it in
he
or
was gonna
anything.
look and see what he didn't think they'd give us much for a trade, so if they won't, we'll just put it on the auction site. We got a bunch of other we got an old sander and a couple old bodies that have been sitting around we dug out. So I was waiting to put a bunch of
Try to get
stuff
that
out on
together.
the auction.
Okay.
And
We got one of our new trucks
oh,
a couple weeks
Yay.
ago.
oh, finally.
And so
How long did that take?
knock on, that one was a year, but
Yeah.
it was supposed to only be 6 months. But this other one, knock on wood, supposed to be delivered Tuesday.
Ooh,
That we've been waiting for almost 4 years.
wow.
So,
So we'll have to, I'll stop by and take a look.
yeah,
Yeah, that'll be fun.
yeah.
then we have the LEAP grant, which we keep updating. We're waiting. They were marking water and sewer.
Yeah.
That was the last thing I saw. Haven't heard back from them yet, but they've been fairly good about keeping us up to date. That's the engineering they're gonna do the engineering for the sidewalks on Parker Ave.
Right.
Once that is done, then I can do a complete streets grant for those sidewalks. And they'll be the last real sidewalks.
Highland Ave is complete.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had to replace some panels, they had some bad concrete.
Is that what they were doing up there?
Yeah, they had a couple different sections, they figured it was one load, but they finished that last week, they finished the Loman. But now I'm getting a lot of calls and I have a email into the engineer because they required a lip on the bottom of everybody's driveway. You use a fern strip. And normally it's when you have like low driveways. And I questioned it back then, but now that the road's all paved and nice, there's a bump going into everybody's driveway.
Oh,
So now everybody's calling and wondering why the bump was there after the sidewalks were done, but it was only for a few months through the winter months. So they didn't notice it because they did it when the sidewalks were done. But you lay a fern strip down, so there's a lip like that on the bottom of everybody's driveway. Normally, it's for water. So like if you've got a driveway that dips down in the water, it'll stay out in the roadway. All these driveways are. I questioned it back then, and they said that it was part of the
Deal, huh?
They did it because it was part of their contract.
Gotcha.
But now that everything's smooth, people are backing out of their driveways, they're hitting this little bump,
okay.
or when they're turning in. I got 3 calls today, I had 4 or 5 calls last week. I mean, it's almost every house.
So what's the next step on that? Do we
I've got an
need to have
email in, but he's on vacation. Alex is out till the 22nd or something like that.
Okay.
I emailed and asked, I mean, the hard part is there's no easy way to fix it now. Everybody put
Yeah.
it to what it was supposed to be, but now you'd have to reheat it or you'd have to tear every apron out to make it down level.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
There is an infrared heating that you can heat and hopefully you can roll it or tamp it in, but you know, that's gonna be a cost to us if we have to go back and do it. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't,
Was there any money left over in
know we
that?
used it all
All
between
of
yeah, so the grant was used up.
100%,
We got the
okay.
paving done. All I got left to do was the edging on the loaming on some of the side streets. But they finished loaming last week and hopefully, I mean, there was a couple spots where people park their cars all the time. And they were concerned because the grass isn't growing. Well, it's not gonna grow if you drive on it all the time.
Okay.
But
I'm just looking at the clock because we have the OPMs starting at 6:30. What else did you have
the
on
only
your-
other thing you wanted,
the whole tree thing? So we have somebody here who's a concerned citizen about, and I know you've received, it was a couple of calls or something about Eversource
Yeah.
and the town. What is going on with?
well, they're cutting
What's the
back.
project?
It's a fairly good sized project. They're on several roads. They're on Old Vernon Road, West Road, 142. They have those all completed, I think, as far as, they're finishing Old Vernon Road today.
Okay.
They're doing Alexander Hill, Gulf Road. They did part of Old Wendell Road. They only went up as far as Elm Way. And
Yeah, because there's no
Elm Way.
poles up until
Well,
you get
yeah,
up above.
they didn't,
Go
they
up
aren't doing
above.
that other circuit, and then they're also gonna do Orange Road and the top of Gulf Road to the Irving line. It's a big process that they started 3 years ago.
Is that what they're doing over on 142
Yeah.
as
Yep.
well, along the,
They call it a 15-15, they 15 feet above the wires and 15 feet
back?
aside from the wires.
Okay.
Has to be cleared.
Okay.
And
I think they were a little overzealous at some of the things they did on people's property because there was a few trees that were definitely not on town property and they were definitely back further than the 20 some odd feet. Just
15.
clear cut one whole sides of some of these trees rather than trimming. So, and the other thing is promising to come back and fix some damage that they have done. They've never done that. So in the future, I'm hoping that they didn't let everybody know where they were going to be. They went door to door if people were there, but if the person wasn't there, they didn't know what was happening. So if this happens in the future, I think that better communication. These people are out of state, I believe. They've come in
yeah,
here.
they're from Texas.
Yeah, and they realistically, they don't care about the community because they don't live here. So in the future, I hope that they're a little bit better, they inform the public a little bit better.
And they never even informed me. I didn't, they were already into, I didn't even know they were working on Old Vernon Road till one of the days my guys came back and said, what are they doing out there? And they were, I mean, I know, I've been in contact with Eversource, the guy that's in charge. I got a book a year ago, but it never had,
Who they were
it's
gonna
just
do.
a plan of circuits that could be done this year, next year, the year after. Money, depends on their money. And they were supposed to actually check, I mean, they were dumping chips up on our lot without permission, and I finally put a chain up because they were going, then they started not even asking, and they just started dumping, and they
Exactly.
were dumping it in our
Exactly.
good gravel.
And you were there when we were discussing some things on
Yeah.
Old Wendell Road, and we thought we were good, but then they just, someone wasn't out there
Is this
talking
something,
to them.
Dan, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the time. Is this something you've been following up with Tom? Was
We
because
can-
it was on your,
No, it was.
On your road,
No,
too?
a lot of people have been discussing that, and they just didn't think
Okay.
they had a say in it. And
okay.
so I
And
think in the future, we just have to make sure
does
that
that match
happens.
your experience? Is it, just state your name
somewhat.
and, yeah, just state your name and your location for the record,
Yeah.
so for the minute.
John Schuster, Pratt Hollow Road.
Yeah,
Dan, I just want to say that our own experience with Xylem Tree Services, the company, our beef is more with Eversource, I would say. Xylem, we found them to be helpful, genuinely helpful. I mean, I met with Alan Lawless today, and there was another Alan Dominguez who had first, so basically, they're presenting you with the option, look, we're gonna do the trimming, I mean, they're proposing to cut the trees. If you don't want them cut, we can trim instead. Except when the trees are technically on town property, then the homeowner doesn't really have the control. I mean, there's for a lot of residents in town, there are trees that might actually be on town property that they kind of consider them as being part of their property because they're so much a part of the ambiance of the property.
okay.
So, and anyway, I think as far as the work, so we have a lot of frontage along Gulf Road and we also have frontage along Alexander Hill. I think they're done with the work on Gulf Road now, and we've been able to, they've worked with us and we've been able to save several of the trees and just go with the trimming instead. They're still working, we have a lot of frontage along Alexander Hill Road, they've done work up there, but they're still working in there today, specifically on our frontage. They had already removed, 4 hemlocks. There's a couple large hemlocks left that we
Okay.
do not want to see removed.
I'm just gonna do a time check, you
Okay.
guys. Can we follow up? So the concern, there's Eversource, it sounds like did not do good communication with the town or with you or with some of the customers. The contractor, it sounds like, has been working. That's what I heard from you, John.
We're not complaining about Xylem
Yeah.
at this.
Yeah, I'm
it's
just
really,
I'm
the scale of the work this year. So Tom said this is a
Yeah.
multi-year project, but this is the first we've seen. I mean, every year
Yeah.
that utilities do trimming.
Yeah.
This isn't trimming. This is like
Large
major
scale.
logging. It's
Yeah.
important to keep it in context. It's not just in the town of Northfield. This stuff is going on all around, and then there's
Yeah.
a major issue with the widening
Okay.
of one of the transmission line corridors.
Yep. We're gonna take an action item to follow up with
Okay.
Eversource in general. So I think we had my understanding from Eversource, and I know you were following this as well, because they do a number of different things, including up around Northfield Mountain. My understanding was that this wasn't as widespread in Northfield as it sounds like, and it sounds like Tom wasn't well communicated with, or the town in general, so that we could like get the word out, or also find a way of, if people had concerns, how to get that addressed, right? Instead of, because the challenge, I think, always for highway is they're out on the road. So if people are trying to reach somebody over at highway and they're out on the road doing things, then people get frustrated. So is that your take as well, just on a real quick?
I did talk to Eversource,
You
and
did?
a lot of it, Eversource, they publicize the hearings in the paper. So, I mean, it's not, I don't even read the paper myself, so I mean, I didn't see some of the hearings. But it's up to the contractor to go around prior to, and that's where there's two different contractors here now.
Oh, okay.
And
So more
one
than
other
just,
contractor doesn't communicate with anybody unless they come out screaming at them. That's the problem that we've
okay.
had. So,
Okay.
and they're supposed to, they should have gone around, like, just use Dan's Road, for instance, probably a month ahead of time
Kind
to
of like-
give everybody time to
Like-
digest it all.
right, like the contractor you were working with on Highland Ave with
Yeah.
that work. All right, so let's, because I don't want to hold up the finalist interviews for the OPM, so let's take an action item to follow up with Eversource and get the specifics on the second contractor, so that we can get that. And then we might need to do an update at the next meeting, I'm thinking, which would be July 7th.
And I just want to give one announcement on
Yeah.
the RAP funds, the Winter Aid Recovery Program. They just got announced on Friday. And they are, we're getting $173,125.93.
Yeah.
There's apparently an additional $210 million available for what they're calling hard-hit areas. We don't know who that is or what that means yet. And we have to fill out, looks like an application for the appropriation of the funds, but it's distributed like Chapter 90. So, but it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to use them for our winter roads deficit. It's
Oh, okay.
Chapter 90 eligible projects. It looks like, and they won't be off till
It's
July.
the same,
It'll be
we
after
got it
July
once
1st.
before.
Right,
Yeah.
so it'll
Okay.
be projects for you, but
Yeah.
we'll still have to transfer to do the winter roads deficit.
Okay.
I put a thing in your box, I think, if you can sign off on that.
Okay,
I signed off
Okay, great,
before I came.
perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. If you
Thank you,
need any
Tom.
more information.
We'll be in
just
touch.
tell me.
John, thank you, and did you sign in so we have your
John,
info?
No, I will, I just want to catch Tom
Okay.
before we leave, but
And maybe,
thank you very much.
yeah, maybe leave your number too if you
Right
want us
here.
to.
Talk,
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
do that.
after you talk to him, yep.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so I already talked with Matt. We're going to take Matt's update after the OPM finalist interviews. So I'm going to welcome CMS.
No, yeah, sorry.
TMS.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'm
I'm
looking
sorry.
at the agenda.
No, I meant something else, not that.
Construction Monitoring Services, Inc. And when I say OPM, hi. Have a seat. Thank
We do
you.
have a select board member who is there, just in case. Thank you.
Oh, boy. Okay, so we have a half an hour.
Did you give one to Becky? Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Welcome. I think you've met or seen most of us. Why don't we start with introductions? And we'll
Sure.
start with you.
Sure, Neil Joyce with Construction Monitoring Services. I'm the principal in charge, vice president of the company.
Luca Poen, project manager, CMS.
Scott Luker, I'm a principal and senior project manager.
And Roger Hoyt, assistant project manager and field representative.
Okay. And you can tell our names. And Shane Duclos, who is on the committee, is on Zoom, obviously. So why don't we get started? So you've got the letter. So you've got 30 minutes, and this is going to include Q&A. We've all either been to the building, sat in on the building committee, or we watched. So we're reasonably familiar, and both Dan and Shane are on the committee, so we're not coming into this completely new or blind. So if, just take advantage of the 30 minutes and just allow for Q&A as we go. And we sent you an email, and there were a couple of specific suggestions in there that really hit home for us.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Well, I'll kick it off.
Okay.
Again, thanks for inviting us back. It's nice to see everybody tonight.
And congratulations on being a finalist.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's excellent. We're very excited about your project, and we prepared, kind of an approach to community outreach as you had asked us to do in your email. And feel free to interrupt and ask any questions as we go through this. Keep it a dialogue, but just to kind of, showcase our experience out in Western Mass and within small communities. We've identified several projects. We are currently working in Westfield on a new police station. We're working in Westfield on a roof and HVAC replacement at the wastewater treatment plant. We're working in Granby on a municipal offices, in Hamden on a fire station, and in Sheffield on a highway garage. And on past projects was Sturbridge Senior Center, Wilbraham, a new police station, Great Barrington, a library, West Stockbridge, a police station, town hall, Tewksbury Public Library, Greenfield Fire Station and High School, and Montague, a DPW. And we're very familiar and understand the challenges of some of the smaller communities face, and we've our goal as an owner's project manager is to find solutions, whether it's on the early stages, through design or through community outreach and gaining public support, and continuing on into construction. In terms of creating a path forward in community outreach, we have to have a very high level understanding of your community, what the community wants, what the department and EMS folks need. That involves meeting with town leadership, you folks, the building committee, the designer when the designer's on board. And we bring a lot of, several years of successful projects and lessons learned. So we bring those to the table, and we look at when we are reviewing the building program, we provide a lot of kind of our like how we see the project and what worked and what didn't work. Ultimately, the building program is what is going to drive your square footage of the building, because the building program develops the space needs, and the highest driver of cost is square footage. So we want to find the right size project. In public outreach, it's about providing and educating the public and explaining the need. And we do that through several items that Luke's going to talk about, but some of them include FAQs to inform the community and to clarify any misinformation that may be going around. And we're believe in transparency, integrity, and honesty. I'll turn it over to Luke, and we'll go through several examples on keys to success, which is multi-channel communication.
Good, thanks, Scott. As Scott mentioned, community support is going to be probably the number one factor for success of this project. We view the project website as a central repository for all the information related to the project, but that's not the only form of communication. We need to use the various outlets available to us, whether that's media via the Franklin County Now, or the Greenfield Recorder, BNC TV, etc. Using as much of that information, using much of those avenues to get information to people as possible. Regular updates are critical, important. While the design is happening, not much is happening from a presentation standpoint, but we need to keep informing the public what is happening. This project is moving forward and people are working on it, and just keeping the project fresh in people's minds. Like I said, regular updates, keep people engaged, and keep the public informed on what's happening. Some pop-up outreach events, whether we attend ongoing events in public places such as a school, library, things like that. Like I said, ongoing events, and then creating our own, whether it's a touch a truck event at the station, a walkthrough, let folks see the condition and what we're dealing with here and what we're trying to improve. And then project storyboards, again, keeping in public, placing these in public places around town, with some renderings, some costs, schedule, prepare the public before we're asking them to vote on this. And again, just keeping the keeping the information fresh in people's minds. Another avenue we've used is mailers and using local utility bills or other avenues to insert, information packets into these bills to get them out to residents.
There's some examples here. One of them, the top right, is an example of a website that we helped the town of Rentham do for the DPW. We provided all the content. The town hosted the website. They had already set up a public works building project on their on their website. And similar, I know you have there's an EMS section on your website, so you could easily, depending on who's hosting it and taking, adding the content, we could provide that content, or we could set up our own website. We can host it and provide the link to it. And the way we get the link out is we, on the mailers or some of the, we'll show you some samples in here of handouts that we created. We'll put a QR code and that'll have the website. So a lot of people have smartphones now, and you can just put your camera up and it'll bring you right to it. And we definitely recommend scheduling in-person meetings and also hybrid meetings. Those hybrid meetings can be, either one can be recorded, and those meetings can be added to the website or the various communication outlets.
Who actually does so you've mentioned doing the content, because I think in my experience on a prior project, Andre and I ended up doing a lot of the content, which wasn't quite what our expectations were in the project on top of everything else. I think we did the best that we could, but
we would, not to interrupt, but we would give samples and give templates, and then you could add and delete what you like, what you don't like, and then we can we can kind of format it. Yeah, we'll give you a starting point. And of course, if you have something that's worked or you like, you can give it to us, and we can go through it and kind of add to it. And
We work very closely with past communities with a sub-consultant that works for us in website design and maintenance. And we basically customize the website to meet what is the information you would like to put out, and what is the information we feel is necessary to keep the public informed and to dispel any misinformation that may be floating around. Been very successful. I think it's worked out quite well. The QR codes, you can put them anywhere. You can put them right on your website. You can put them on any public mailers, any town meeting minutes, anything really that you distribute to the public or make publicly available. We can link through a QR code to the website and bring everybody back there.
are you guys actually, in terms of talking to community members too, are you involved in talking with all four of you, or just a couple who are involved? Obviously, the building committee, as the project progresses, attracts a lot more constituents.
Yep.
So are you guys also helping? I know it's a balancing act between the town, but are you also helping and understanding who's asking what kinds of questions and how it fits into the overall communication approach?
So typically, we're involved every step of the way. We will be as active and as vocal as you would like us to.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I personally, my own opinion, my own experience tells me that constituents respond much more supportively when the project is supported by the government agencies that represent them. So let me try to say it a different way. If an outside consultant comes into town and tries to sell a project, he's exactly that, or she. An outside consultant is trying to sell a project. If the town of Northfield gets up and says, listen, this is the best solution for our community, and we're asking for your support to help make it real, that goes a lot further than having us do it as consultants. That said, we will do whatever it is that you would like us to do.
Okay. I just want to double check with Shane, because you're on Zoom. Shane, is there anything in particular you want to ask at this point? Or we can keep going.
No. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. Great.
Yeah, I do not have any additional questions.
Okay, just flag me. Anybody else on the board before I let these guys continue? Anything? No?
Not at this time.
Okay.
And when we do come in front of the community for an event, it's nice if it's a team, we're involved, the architect's there.
Yeah.
You guys are there, and that way, we can field different
We
types
want
of
to be
questions.
rowing in the same
Exactly,
direction.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and looks like you had something, you were addressing the concern about explaining long-term financing and tax impact. That was,
Yep.
I'm just curious also, when you're talking about this and your other prior examples, is there anything unique that you think is especially useful in any of the small towns in Western Mass that you've worked with previously?
So I think from a very broad range perspective, I think simpler is always better. We don't want to make it complicated, we want to try to keep it simple, but at the same time, we want to be informative. We want to tell them that there are variables that are present that are beyond what we can certainly control and what you can control.
Right.
But essentially, open communication, truthful information, transparency. We'll sit down and explain the need. We'll show you how we got to where we are from a design perspective, how that translates into an estimated cost. We know or believe that there's been some money previously authorized for this project, and we'll explain how the numbers come about and what the ask is from the community to make this project real.
Okay. You want to keep going?
Moving on, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's people obviously want to know how it will affect their tax burden, and the way we usually do this is with a tax calculator that has some. We work with the assessor's office. We pulled this public data from a database that has I think all of the towns in Mass, and it's very preliminary. We don't know how much is going to be needed. I think that the number that was previously had support from the community was around 2.1 million. Some of that I think has probably been spent or is back in another pot. But we just threw 2 million in here for now, and at over 10 years, what that would look like at 5%. There's several different scenarios on. With municipal financing and bonds and in terms of those, but basically what we found was that the average, you can just see here how this works out, and again, depending on the exact amount that needs to be borrowed and the exact terms, we could plug it into the calculator. That could go on the website, and people could put in their their current assessed value of their home and calculate it and show them. So the average, would be $119 a year if it was a $2 million ask for over 10 years at 5%. And then there was just a little sample tax illustration on the back of this page, showing different home values and what that would look like on an annual basis or monthly basis. And we like to use visual timelines to explain the borrowing and debt repayment, and connect the financial investment to public safety outcomes. Showing how this capital improvement is going to be better for the community, how it's going to improve not only this community, but your neighboring communities that are partners that are, within the regional area. And
Who also contribute via their assessments too.
Right.
I know that already keeps coming up as a repeated, is like, what is how much the other towns, what kind of skin do they have in the game, and they're already being assessed.
Yep, we saw that in the UMass document that was online. There was a couple documents on the website, so we kind of read through that and saw that. I know it's a little bit old, but what the other towns were contributing, and how the EMS has income from responses and from insurance companies and from the neighboring communities, from their partnering. Also, I think one of the last things in just terms of how we would like to show people that what the difference is between if you wait, like what the cost is now versus if you wait, how that can affect what you can, if you can afford this now, but you want to wait, with inflation and escalation, that budget is not going to get you as much in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, so etc.
Yeah.
And then so there's two examples here, two DPWs, very recent projects. The first one here is Rentham. So in Rentham, the DPW director did not think that he was going to get support on the project. There was a lot of people on the committee that felt that way, but the need was there, and we put together this, not only this sheet here, but we brought this to Rentham Day, passed it out. It had key dates on it for the open house, and also when the town meeting was, and the link to the website. So with all the FAQs and whatnot, we also did me and the director walked through with the local cable television. They interviewed us, and we walked through and just showed the facts of the building and some of the issues they had, and that was posted on the website. And ultimately, it voted unanimously at town meeting, so it was a big success. And same thing in Whitman, the next one. And we did Whitman before Rentham, and we had success in Whitman, and we kind of built off that template and what we did there. We adjusted some things that worked for the town of Rentham, and but you can see they're not exactly the same, but provide a lot of information, some history of the project, a rendering. Renderings are all important when we go through the initial stages of this, having a conceptual plan, having some renderings and visualizations for people to see is going to be very important, especially on like historic Main Street that the building's on.
I think one interesting note to add for Whitman is the project had been previously marketed to the community on 2 different occasions and failed both times. And then they brought it back a 3rd time with us involved and a different architectural team. And I can't tell you what the difference was, but the project was supported by 4-1 at town meeting. And then there was a technicality on the way that the town prepared the ballot referendum that had to go back and get reapproved again, and it received overwhelming support the 2nd time through as well. So there's a similarity there that I think is worth pointing out.
One more question.
Yeah, go ahead, Gene.
So considering the advanced timeline on this project, what would you be, what are your expectations in getting us those numbers before it goes to town meeting? I know a big problem last time was that the numbers weren't available until town meeting, and then they weren't over impressive when we got there.
So, go ahead. Well, we did, you can't see it, but we put we kind of built off the schedule we provided at the original interview and added in community outreach and also the site survey and wetlands delineation. We thought that we could bring on, help to bring on a surveyor to do the survey and the wetlands kind of in parallel with the designer selection, rather than wait for the designer to come on board and use, have them go get the surveyor. That'll save us some time. Luke, do you want to run through the schedule?
Sure.
For
Yes.
Shane?
Yeah, so we factored in, again, getting OPM on board sometime June, which getting us right into designer selection to hopefully have them on early August. Once the designer's on board, we'll begin the community outreach program. We've targeted 3 milestones along the way for some larger community events. One right before the town meeting, one at the end of design right before bidding, and then one as the results are in right before we proceed into construction. And whether those are community forums, town hall meetings, some sort of event like that, just at these big project milestones. And then Scott mentioned we'll try and get the site survey done while we're doing the design selection. And that brings us to the end of August, where as the designer's on board, we'll begin the programming and user group meetings to get those done by the end of August to begin the feasibility study and get a conceptual design. That'll allow the designer 2.5 months to get us something for early October, put the pencils down to get us an estimate mid-October to finalize that for the end of October, early November meeting timeframe. We're assuming the first week or two of November, so we're kind of targeting the end of August end of October to have all this information wrapped up.
I think we touched on this at our first interview as well, and I think it would benefit the town greatly to proceed with the advertisement and solicitation for designer services, so that as much of the waiting time, if you will, is over. Once your OPM is on board, you'll have designer proposals in hand relatively soon and can move directly into interviewing and get started on your program verification. Scott touched on it earlier in the interview. The program verification is going to derive or define your space needs. Your space needs are going to define your square footage for the building, and your square footage for the building is going to be your largest cost driver for the project overall. So when you have those 2 parameters nailed down, along with survey and wetlands, so you know exactly where on the site you're permitted to build, I think those are going to be the biggest variables to seek some initial clarification on, which will help you form your estimate, an informed estimate that you can take to the public at town meeting in the fall.
Yeah. I think I would add on to Shane's question, having done a lot of work on the prior project, and then back in 2012, I wasn't there for the project, but the 2012 project for a public safety complex was an estimate. And the second project in 2023, 2022, somewhere in there, we took it all the way through and had actual bids. And that was, I think, also, in retrospect, that's confusing for folks, is an estimate. Those 2 paths of a project need to be explained. So when we're talking about content and financial impact, that's going to be, I think, a big topic that needs to be explained. Yeah.
So there's the 2023 timeline or time frame was a very difficult time in recent history to bid work. Everybody was just coming out of COVID. The wounds were fresh. Pricing was not favorable. We're seeing a different bidding market presently. It's pretty aggressive. We're eagerly expecting bids in Westfield for their new police station next week. Had over 100 sub-trades request qualifications for pre-qualification on that job. So there was a very high level of interest, and more impressively than that, we had almost 85 or 90% of the subcontractors that were pre-qualified submitted packages. So it's a very aggressive bidding market out there. People are looking for work, and the sooner that you can bring this project to market, I think it will benefit you tremendously in getting competitive and efficient pricing.
Got it. Any other questions or comments?
Outside of the finance and the spin of it, assuming we've got shovels and we've got a project going, how do you guys handle substantial completion? Because I understand that gives us beneficial use of the building.
It does.
So how does that process take place with you guys? Because warranties start then. How do we set that date?
So we usually establish within the specifications the parameters that are necessary for a contractor to achieve substantial completion. final building inspection, certificate of occupancy, turnover of as-bills and O&M manuals, so you know, familiar with the building and what you're expecting. All training is completed, so you're able to step in and understand and manage the building systems that come along with your new facility. Once all of those conditions are established, then we would do transfer of ownership into the building. The owner would be expected to ensure the completed facility as a condition of occupancy. And then we would begin a transition for you folks to move in. Furniture, communications equipment, all those other things would be done sort of in that interim time frame as well.
Okay, so the systems are all balanced at that point? Because I
Yes.
understand the testing and all that kind of stuff can
Yes.
make a project drag on.
Yeah, I will say in today's day, there's a case to be made that there's certain commissioning of certain systems can't be done, it has to be done seasonally.
Okay.
So there may be, you know, if you're walking into a building in November, it's gonna be difficult for us to turn the HVAC on and ensure that it works efficiently. Conversely, if you move in August, pretty sure you're not gonna be able to run the heat efficiently. So there's a piece of that that will lag with seasonals, but other than that, no, we expect that the job is 100% complete when you take occupancy of the building.
Okay, thank you.
Answer your question? You get it all?
It did.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Any
Appreciate it,
questions
yeah.
for
Shane,
us?
anything else?
Any questions for us?
Thank you.
We always ask decision timeframe.
We hope to make a decision tonight. And then we're going to also, we have a thing on our agenda to assign people to contract negotiation too.
Excellent.
So,
So
already
I
have-
hope they'll be deciding tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'll be letting people know and asking for the bid proposal. And then they'll have a committee and that will start right away because the hope is that that will get negotiated out in a few weeks. And then officially, they don't meet till July 7th, but I think if all parties, you know,
Do you
get
know,
together.
do you know how your fee, how you're gonna structure your fee request? Is it going to be strictly through town meeting with a future amendment, or are you gonna look for the entire project priced upfront based on a theoretical structure?
What they did last time is through to construction. So until town meeting approves the construction, they ask for a fee all the way through to
So through
get to
design.
town meeting. Through design, yeah,
Okay.
all the pieces necessary to do that with a piece on the back end to
Okay.
come back for construction administration and oversight.
Perfect. Okay.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
See ya.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah, I know, that's a trip hazard, we're having. Thanks, guys.
for coming.
I know, we try to cover one.
Yeah, thank you very much for
This one keeps people
coming.
skipping.
I'm gonna try like not to.
Yeah, it would be really nice, thanks for coming back.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much.
Thank
Yeah,
you for coming.
thank you very much.
Yeah, we will
Thank you
warn
very
you,
much.
we
I
have people in
appreciate
town
it.
here who'll think if it has running water, it's a country club.
What?
Hey, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Okay. And we'll talk more
For
after,
everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And- All set? Yeah. Oh, thanks.
He's the keeper of the,
Didn't know we needed them that much.
Cheeseburgers delivered, huh?
No. Where's dinner?
It's a shame.
We're hungry.
oh yeah, it's,
Come on up. Hi.
Yeah, move, anything, feel free.
So, hi there. Nice to see you. Just FYI, one of our members, Shane Duclos, is on Zoom. And I know all of us have all been participating in some way or another. Dan and Shane are on the building committee representing the select board. The rest of us all sat in behind you guys when you were, I know David and I did. But we also had access to review the interviews, the recording of them. So we're all pretty up to speed, which is good. We can't say that on all topics, but we can on this one. Do you want to introduce yourselves and then we'll get started?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm Brian DeFilippis, PMA Consultants, principal in charge for this project. I'm a senior director.
I'm Blair Naum. I'll be the director, senior PM for this project.
I'm Pia Ledwell. I would be the project manager for this project.
Great. And I understand, just for the record, PMA is the name of the company. It's not, there's no spelled out name like.
Right. No, that's correct.
Right,
PMA
right.
Consultants, yes.
Because when we do, had this little discussion, when we do agendas, we have to spell out acronyms like OPMs and things, to owner's project manager, and it was like, no, PMA does not spell out to anything.
That's
so
correct.
you are PMA.
Yeah, a lot of acronyms too. So,
Yes, yeah. All right, do you want to get started?
Sure.
Great.
Yes. Yeah, so thanks for having us back.
Congratulations on being a finalist.
Appreciate that. I believe we're one of two. So we are here before you tonight. We understand the agenda is kind of how we're going to sell the project, and then any type of handouts that we may have for education of the project to bring you to a successful town meeting. Is it in the fall of 26?
Yeah,
November?
we have two. One is in the fall and the annual is in the spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're here to talk about that. We're hoping that there'll be open discussion here. We didn't have a formal presentation as noted in the email. We have formulated some handouts and such that we would, again, when we gave our presentation, we are open to the full gamut of selling the project and, many different ways to do it. We've put together some various options that you can look at and we can talk about.
And then those are we made specifically for this project as one of the ways that we could do it. But then these are samples that we've done in the past that we would also be able to do.
Okay.
From other projects similar that we feel like this community could potentially use to reach out to. But I didn't make enough copies for everyone because I figured you guys probably don't want to read about the Peasley Building School Committee. Just see that it's an option available. Yeah.
Right, so we looked back at the 2023 project
Yeah.
to try to get a little better understanding of some of the history of the projects and everything and how the vote went, and realizing it was, it's a matter of 50 to 75 votes, depending on how many people show up for that 2/3 amount. So we wanted to present to you a wide variety of different things that we have successfully done on other projects and that we could do for this project, and try to get a little feedback and repeat what you thought was successful or would be successful out of the options, and then add to it mailers or pamphlets. We tend to present in a lot of some projects, some for just informational. We brought a couple poster boards from. This is a project at UMass that Ann and I both worked on.
Oh, great. Can you, I think
Show
if
it.
you stand over,
Oh,
no, he's got,
No, he's got you.
He's got it, so you
He's
can
got
see
it.
it.
He's got
can Shane see that too, or
If he
no?
zooms in, he will.
Yes, he can.
Shane can walk up the hill and look at it tomorrow.
From Costa Rica.
Oh, he's in Costa Rica, right?
A good family.
He's scuba diving then.
That's right.
Lucky guy. So yeah, we wanted to give a lot of different options because we may reach 10 people with a mailer, and we may reach 10 people with going to one of the festivals like we talked about on our last presentation. But we know if we can reach 10 or 15, 3 or 4 ways, that has a good potential to turning the vote in the favor of the project. So.
And really a big thing that is to make it relatable to everybody, especially the taxpayer group, because nobody wants to need EMS, but everybody wants EMS available and at their best capacity. So in that way, it's not a project of question. Everybody wants it. It's, can we afford it? How is this going to affect us? And what does that mean to me and my neighbor? Because taxes are high, the tax base is spread out in small communities. There's not a lot of people that carry that. So it was kind of making that so we can reach out to everybody, find it relatable. We made that sample flyer, which is roughly what that impact would be for a $7 million project with a 3-year tax bump, which when you break it down, obviously there's the dollar value. We have on some of the other flyers, we have scannable QR codes that we've created websites that can be on the website or on a Facebook page, or you can put in your actual home value and it will tell you exactly what that's going to affect you for your quarter. But this is kind of more of an overall to think about it. You know, it's a cup of coffee a week, or a medium pizza from Antonio's, or set a golf for two, a round of golf for two at Crumpin' Fox. That's what $300,000, how valued, that's what it would cost you in a year. Now, that's still money, but it makes it feel, it's more relatable. It's easier to find and budget that in, or realize what that real budget effect is versus saying it's gonna be,
2%.
2%, like, or whatever the percentage ends up being. It feels, at least for myself, having been through a lot of these, but also coming from a small town where we've done municipal projects that have gone well, or they haven't made the money, they haven't made the vote. When it was broken down into something that everybody can relate to, whether you are somebody who's been in town forever, or Northfield doesn't as much have it as where I grew up, but the retirement base or the weekends, we're just outside I'm from Toronto, we're just outside the Berkshires. So they're not in the Berkshires, but they're just into Toronto, and they're in New York or Manhattan, and just on the weekends. So it's making it relatable to everybody, and the 10th generation farm that's running, who of course has land. So that's a big piece of where the tax base comes from, is the land size. And so it's kind of, one of our examples was that, and along with flyers from schools that we've done for outreach, holding community meetings, making sure that all this information is available in many different ways, whether it's handouts, flyers, mailers, going door to door, being available, setting up times that it's every month on this day, you can come by and ask us any questions, having that email address for the project, that it's public, everybody and anybody can email us and say, hey, I've got this question, or can you explain this to me? Because what matters most to each individual varies. And we want to make sure that there's no question that they haven't been able to ask, because then they're more confident in standing behind the project and feeling like it really is best for their community and for their needs, and that we're part of the community, though we don't live here, but that we matriculated ourselves in, that we understand the community and what Northfield and the surrounding towns this EMS serves, who will ultimately, the reimbursement for billing will change that with the project.
Great. Questions so far?
No.
Okay.
Actually, I do.
He's just kidding.
No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Go ahead.
What is it that you bring to the table that is a benefit for the town of Northfield that maybe some other company may not have?
I would say one of I think the differences potentially, without knowing who the other OPM firms are, is I have built in the town of Northfield many buildings. I have worked in Bernardston, Gill, all around the place. I am a general contractor by trade, by lineage as well. So I have an eye for the construction side of it, so there's no getting anything away from me. I know all the tricks of the trade of those who can, those who do, because it's local contractors you end up using, those who you watch out for. Joe, you gotta watch this, Larry, you gotta watch that, and really efficient ways to build things better for long-term longevity, but also for operating costs. But some simple substitutions and value engineering of products can save you so much money in the upfront while still giving you the long-term life cycle and versatility for flex spaces and flex use as programming changes. Not drastically, but it does over time. That's just the nature of the beast of any municipal building.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say, like, as a group, all three of us have worked as general contractors. Now we're on the owner's representative side, and so we've, in a typical project meeting, you'll have someone from the owner, the contractors, and maybe subcontractors, and we've sat in all of those chairs. And it kind of gives us a unique perspective. We understand the motivations of the owner. We understand the motivations of the contractor. It's helped. I would say, Ann and I worked on that project at UMass. It's about to finish. It's one of the larger projects at UMass, so it's not quite the same scale, but it's the only one of the 8 or 9 figure projects in the last 5 years, I think, that is both going to finish on time, and that project is almost 10% under budget. So we hit a home run with that project, and hopefully the university is really happy with that.
Yeah. What kind of communication did you have to do with the UMass community, or I'm not sure where that is at UMass, but is it down near the
So that's
southeast, or?
It's almost center of campus, near the campus center.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Near the other
it's an
engineering.
academic building for
Yeah.
the College of Engineering. There were, oh gosh, probably hundreds of meetings with the professors that were involved. And that was really our customer for that, so
Okay.
a little bit different.
Yeah.
I actually worked at the university at the time before coming to join PMA. They convinced me because it was the culture of the company and the way they approach work really aligned well with me. And we're trying to grow. So I'm in Amherst and Ann's in Ottawa. So we're an hour away. I believe we said in our presentation, we do a lot of festivals in the fall. Like, we're up in this area. So to me, this is kind of an extension of the community that we live in as well.
Yeah. Okay, and one of your projects that you went over before was in a tight space. I forget if it was in Andover or...
Yeah.
Yeah, and can you I think one of our concerns that we put in there, which you've already addressed, was how to explain financing to folks. And I think I mentioned in the last interview that we did that we've had 2 projects. One was in 2012, the other one was the more recent one. And the one in 2012 was an estimate. And the one in 2023 was like full-on bid, specific, we're ready to go costs.
Yep.
So there's part of that financial explanation, as well as like what are the pros and cons of doing an estimate, right? Because you can get a ballpark or a good ballpark versus going all the way through the process and getting a specific cost. I think that would be part of the explanation to townspeople. But also, just because this is so close and it's literally in between 2 houses, that is a concern. And people are going to be seeing it as they drive past all the time. So can you talk a little bit more about the location and how that factors into the way that you would communicate on this project?
Yeah, as I mentioned, actually with both Acton and Andover, we had Kevin's cell phone. He had ours.
Yeah.
It's a tight, area, so we want to really take care of those direct abutters.
And Kevin was the neighbor?
Kevin was the neighbor in Acton, but I forget her name in Andover, but we had
Oh,
the
okay.
same type of rapport in the north, that little small house,
Yeah.
if you recall that. Because we want to be good neighbors, of course, right? And to have construction noise going on, we want to just be very sensitive to those concerns. And those direct abutters will kind of be impacted, so we want to try to minimize those impacts. As far as the kind of budgeting, through every process of design, we will have an estimator and the designer will have an estimator, and we will meet to reconcile those estimates to be within, roughly the rule is about 5% of each other, to keep us on budget. And as Ann alluded to, value engineering to make sure that we get the right materials and that we meet the budget. And on an ongoing process, the QR codes that actually are in the pamphlet, they actually work. If you press, take a picture of it, you'll see in the case of that, I think it's Old Colony, that's for 4 communities where if you're in that community, you check it and then you can see how much your tax impact is there. So that's kind of, and then also example Ann gave, I think is a really good, real life example of what the impact could be to you as a taxpayer, so.
You see any of these?
I'll talk a little more on cost. One of the things that I would explain on cost is when we do these estimates, you have, we could probably figure out this is a 6,000 to 8,000 square foot building, somewhere in that range. And with that range is kind of how we got to that $7-ish million cost. So that's very broad, and there's a whole lot of wiggle up and down in that number. As you get through different phases of the design, that percent of markup for uncertainty starts to reduce. So if that makes sense, so you know more, so you understand the project and the details of it more, so you can be more precise. So you take away that markup on the back end of maybe it's 10 or 15% early in design, and that goes down to like 2, 5, 7, 5, 3 towards the end, because you have a completely designed project and you're about to buy the materials for it, so you can take away a lot of that uncertainty.
And one of the important roles as an OPM is to ensure that the building is being designed to the budget, not to the theory, the wants, the dreams, but the realistic needs and budget available. And as long as an OPM, our main task in the design phase is to make sure that the designer that has gone out to RFQ through selection and interview process, it becomes a cooperative. But one of the biggest things as an OPM you're watching is, nope, all right, that's great, but let's rail that back in. We would love to have a full glass facade that's amazing with etched designs, but no, let's just remove that right away. We don't want to show that picture. We don't want to know what it costs because we don't want to buy it. That's not practical for the budget at hand. And that's one of the big roles, and also having the experience as contractors and having done estimating in our pasts and seeing a lot of estimates, you kind of know what those flags are, and you go, whoa, that's a budget that we're not looking to jump into right now. So let's not even look at that. Let's not waste the time and the effort to explore something that we can't afford and present something that we can't afford.
So specifically, go ahead.
I was going to say, you just answered one of the questions I was going to ask you as far as doing it. Would you say no to people that were looking at a Taj Mahal and they only have
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that is a big deal.
Or the
because-
Cadillac version,
yes,
as somebody once put it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So buy an affordable sedan. Don't try to, don't oversell, and you don't need the fancy. You need functional.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to look like.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're an extension of your staff. We're there to advocate for you, with the contractor and the designer to keep them accountable. Some OPMs kind of dabble in design, dabble in engineering, where, as we discussed in our interview, we are OPMs looking out for your best interest.
And we're looking at risks with the project. One of the little side or smaller services we do is risk management. So we're looking at the biggest risks and doing everything we can through planning and getting ahead of those risks to make them go away or incorporate whatever we need to head them off before they actually challenge the project, either schedule-wise or financially.
And to get the project in a facility that meets all of the needs and requirements of the town under budget, so that then I like to call it the shopping list, the wish list, it's value adds, and it's stuff that whether the community or the end user would really like. We would really, really love a sink in the laundry facility to rinse stuff out. Don't need it, but that we really want that. So we have that as an add alternate, and we know how much that is. So when the base comes in, you gotta get a shopping list of going, I would like to add that, or making it PV ready, because it's small money during build, it's big money later. But there are grants and there are fundings that come up where you've got the facilities in place to allow that. So when your town can apply for that grant and get that PV, all of the infrastructure's there, and you had a little bit of extra money,
Right.
you put it in the.
You're not opening a wall to put
You're not
in
opening a
pipes
wall.
or
Yep,
anything
it's
like
a
Doing it
that.
at
penny
Yeah.
wise, pound foolish
Right,
type of
right.
deal. The
Yeah.
conduit, the roof has enough structural integrity, that
Right.
sort of thing.
Right.
yes.
I think on the project schedule, it's not I wouldn't say aggressive, but it's, we want to move quickly because we're looking at the November town meeting. And as Shane had mentioned before, we're concerned about making sure people have enough information going into a November meeting. So what were your thoughts on the schedule in terms of?
So Ann and I took a pretty deep look at this, I think, and went week by week in our presentation last time.
Yeah.
The schedule. So we with Ann living her whole life here in Western Mass and being in the contractor side up until a couple of years ago when she joined PMA, like we identified 2 or 3 surveyors, 2 or 3 wetlands firms that could do those 2 things, and because of the cost of those 2 things, we think we could do that get that under contract within the first 2 weeks of when we started.
Okay.
Because the dollar value of those we would expect would be below the certain limit, and it's part of our training for the public procurement laws. We look to identify things where we can meet our owners, our customers' needs with things like that. Small costs up front, get the project moving more quickly. We actually brought in a draft. We went through our template and created a draft for the RFP for the designers as part of our presentation. I think we shared it the last time.
Yeah.
So
Great.
we have a
So
very
it's already ahead of schedule.
we are
Yeah.
like we're ready. If you told us to go today, Ann and I would probably work
Yeah.
the rest of the week into the weekend in wherever time we had available to get those documents ready. Like we understand, and Brian as well, like we understand schedules and deadlines and how a few days of extra hours for us can make weeks of difference on a project. And that's why we did some of that work up front, and we wanted to show that we're ready to go, because we recognize it's only a few months, and
Yeah.
it's summer months, so there are people on
Right.
vacations.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried
My
about.
kid's school
Yeah.
finishes Thursday. I think Ann, you go to Monday, so
Yeah, we gotta get right into
like
that.
we know it's
Yeah.
going to be extremely busy,
Yeah.
but we identified those key tasks, and then I think in the RFP, I really feel like, or the RFQ, you outlined the big pieces of the building, right? You outlined this many bedrooms, and there are options that you could have a classroom if the funding was available. Like the town has limited meeting spaces, and if it was available, they could use a meeting room for like a 15-person meeting room, I want to say, or a 20-person meeting room. There are a lot of different options, but you basically gave us all the rooms of the building already. So that, with a couple of meetings we identified, taking a field trip over to South EMS just to see what
South
they learned.
County. Yeah.
To verify that program.
Yes, to verify, like, you all didn't miss anything, and we're not missing anything, and also to ask, what would you do different now?
Yeah.
And to take Chief and maybe one of his EMTs and a paramedic or something, if they can, to go look at, like, what do you like and what do you hate about this? And they would probably get a better answer than I would, talking to the EMS group.
Yeah, for sure.
But doing that in the first week or 2 as well, and confirming what that design scope is, so that we can put that RFP out.
And really laying out in the RFQ, these are the timelines.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
the expectation.
Right.
Don't submit if you can't make it.
Absolutely.
Like we want a plethora to pick from, but we don't want to be sold something that you can't deliver. Don't try and sell us something that cannot be delivered.
Right.
These is the deadlines, and we hold people to deadlines. And same with for getting the surveyor and wetlands out. I've worked with dozens of them in the area. You put out the email to get pricing, because you have to get pricing, but because of it's under the threshold, it doesn't have to go out to bidding. You can get pricing, it can be procured. Just picking up the phone. Bob, Alan, are you going to be able to answer this? Like, we need pricing on this, like, now.
Right.
And by the way, I want you out next week if you give me this pricing. Is that achievable? Levying our relationships locally and within the industry on behalf of the town, to meet the deadlines that the town needs, to give us time to get that outreach out into the community and really get our presence known within the community. So as questions come up, they're comfortable to answer it, or somebody driving by sees us on site, me walking with a surveyor, going through it, stops, has a question, sends me an email, calls my cell phone, asks the question, so that it doesn't feel like a rush start or rush to the finish, last minute scramble before November, to where they're all of a sudden hearing stuff 2 weeks before this meeting.
Right.
We want to have everybody well informed on the process and the steps ahead of time, but holding those deliverables to the timeline of the deliverables
Yeah.
that are required.
We just really want to be able to do an information session well before the town meeting so that people have a chance to percolate, so to speak, on the potential cost and how the financing would work. Because we haven't really had to deal with quote unquote financing and how that works. Anyway, any other questions or?
No, they answered my questions.
Okay, David?
So how do you, in construction, there's always changes, right? So, and that's gonna affect timeline, that's gonna affect budget. So how do we make those two things work together? I mean, how do you guys address changes once the project is moving forward? Because we don't want a change to affect schedule. So how do we balance the dollar and the timeline?
In my experience and history in construction and as a project manager, project executive on the GC side, with the extent of major scope growth, you decide you want to add another bay. I in general do not accept change orders that add time to a contract. If we're asking for this, we expect you to be able to deliver it on time. The exception would be supply chain. I mean, was building a couple projects during COVID and everything shut down. You can't help that. But besides that, this is what we're asking you to do. You tell us if it's going to be more time, and if it's not, then if it is, you need to give us suggestions of an or equal that you can get within the time we need. And what's the price? And backup. You have to show open book on backup on everything. And sometimes we have independently verified said backup through other parties, because everybody has backup, everybody is their favorite supplier. It's not that world anymore. I haven't seen it, but I still remember the stories growing up that used to be that world. And I will live by double, triple check, because you don't want to be taken advantage of. But no, you have to, if you can't make it in time, give us a reason why, and then give us an alternative to make that timeline, because schedule is key.
Ann's the bad cop, so that allows me to be like because inevitably if that's the first response, there'll be some, that can generate friction, and then if whoever's on site working with Ann has an issue with that, my approach is with her doing that way, I don't have to, so I put on the other hat of the good cop, and I would sit down and just talk through the details, like really talk through the details, and then bring the designer in to look at, okay, if we can't use this type of material, can we, if square tube is not going to work for this change because it's going to take 6 weeks to get, can we use a rectangle, a 3x2 instead of a 2x2? And how does that dimensionally change things? Just looking at it from all those different angles. Like I said, like looking from having sat at most of the seats on the table, I want to look at what we can do, not I just can't make it. Like if there's another product, I mean, some people only call one supply house. They won't call 2 or 3 supply houses. A lot of electricians, they want to go one place and that's it. So we have probably 3 in this region, bigger ones, right? So you call all of them. And if you can't get that, then you start calling further east. Because if it takes a day and me or Ann driving to pick up materials, like I did a job I did about 10 years ago. I rented a U-Haul to pick up a bunch of windows and drove them to the project site myself, because it would have taken another 3 weeks before that company could ship them with their own internal shipping. So it's really whatever it takes, and looking at it from different angles. And like like I said, both of us have done so much of it that, like, we're not gonna take no. She'll say no, and I'll say, how about this as an
Yeah.
alternate? And getting to that yes so that we can figure it out.
We're a different yes.
Yeah, and as part of our we have schedulers as part of our group in Braintree. When we give the contract out to a contractor, they'll submit a baseline schedule. We'll go into it in detail to find all the areas of float. Float is kind of the areas where, things could move around theoretically and not impact the schedule. And we monitor that every month. And every week we'll want to talk about the schedule with the contractor, also review the change order log, and talk through, even if they say that there's going to be an impact to the schedule, well, how can you incorporate that and still move on and meet the deadlines?
Yeah.
That will always be our tactic.
Okay. We've used up about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So do you have any questions for us?
We had some last time. Find them.
I think one question we would have is, has there been soil investigations done on the site ahead of time? Just, I know Sandra was there was a home, I wasn't sure if you guys have done soil borings, because that is one of the things that does
Slow
go into,
process.
it can slow the process, but it needs to be known before a design can sometimes be done.
So we do have, Skip, who's the fire chief, who is on the committee, worked for Sandry.
Okay.
And so he is very familiar with the site. He was not, because he lived in town, he was the fire chief, allowed to work on it for any conflict of interest reasons, so he knows the person who ran that testing. So I do have in the files, and I have found some, when Sandry removed the tanks, yes, they had to go through the process. They were not left, they had to go through the whole process. So we had some of that information, and we're pretty much sure, 99% sure that that's not going to be an issue. We do have an existing septic system from the old property, plus the one that's there, but those are kind of off, they're not in the middle. The tanks were actually between the two, where the house went, they were very tight in there, right up against the thing. But we do have some information on that already, and it was removed with
So that's the benefit of having a fire chief who's been fire chief for 50 years, right?
Yeah.
So when he was growing up as a junior firefighter, and his dad and somebody else on the fire department actually looked at that, and there's records around that. And then he's worked for Sandry all the time too, so that kind of worked out really well with that old building.
So he's pretty
Yeah.
confident, and we do have some
Yeah.
records.
And there's a
from the-
path to the records, that's all
Yeah.
that matters?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's obviously very key for us to, hey, let's put it into the RFQ, whatever extent we have, and then, maybe give a Dropbox
Yeah.
to the designers so they have
So yeah, they were
all eyes
removed
open.
and
Yep.
tested, and so shouldn't be an issue.
Biggest hurdles for public support, do you guys know of any of those, or we were just curious?
I think the cost, I think the understanding financing, understanding that we've already been saving money over time. So when you move from saving money to actually using some of that money that you save every year for your debt service, is understanding that. Like, it's just not a total add-on to everything, the discipline that we've already developed over the last few years. The other concern, which we'll address, which all the chiefs have addressed at one time or another, police chief, fire chief, and EMS chief, is we've gone from a 3-department building into individual solutions, and they're moving at different paces. The police have said, we're fine for now. We've got our cars, those are our offices. We're happy to be behind EMS and fire. But now that EMS and fire are going to be in different buildings, the space needs are different, so there's always going to be some concern about EMS and fire and them moving at different paces. But fire, as we're going to talk about later, has done a lot of their own preliminary work based on the prior design. So they're in some ways actually ahead of where EMS is. EMS is ahead on the OPM front, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of site investigation on the site, where they're now going to do a smaller building just for fire. So there's a lot of that already done, and
Great.
by EMS
So that all needs to be folded into when we talk about doing communication. We're not just talking about EMS, we're talking about public safety in general and how that works.
Okay.
And then in the intervening time, we also looked at purchasing a building, and then as everyone discovered in Franklin County, that there are no unicorn buildings to be had, and so that deal didn't
And as we've had
didn't pan out.
some residents at some of the meetings, there's some that feel very strongly that fire should be moving first, they're the big need. And so, you know, there's constituencies in both camps. I think it's fairly safe to say, though, that because they had it at their meeting, that the Emergency Services Facility Committee has voted to move forward with their OPM RFQ in the next few months. So they will be running
in the next few weeks.
Well,
Yeah.
it's going to take till July to get that
Well,
written, but
I used to be a
so they will be
project
running at the
manager,
same
so-
time. So that's going to also be a point of clarification we have to keep up
Yeah.
for people, that there will be an OPM working on this project,
Yeah.
and then another project moving forward at the same time, but they're two different projects. And how is the finances on both going to impact people? So
Yes.
there's a little bit of
Got it.
a piece there that's going to take some.
I think for everyone, for other folks who aren't following the situation quite as closely, I call it losing the thread. There's a narrative that we're telling over many years in a small town, and that we'll go through periods of time where there's like designs going on and this is going on, and it's not really reaching everybody in the community. And so their understanding of the project is maybe every 6 months or every year, depending on where we are in the process. So that's something else that I want to address, is where are we in the process for any given, whether it's fire, EMS, or police. Yeah,
Right, okay.
okay.
Any grants the town would like to look into? Anything on your
We're
mind?
always looking.
Always looking for grants.
If we can
Always
find
okay.
anything, but I mean, I do think that
And we've advocated for public safety building funding as well with the legislature.
Senator Comerford
Yeah.
has been pushing that now for a
We can-
while, but
We could have our, like, we tend to bring on a lot of interns over the summer. So we definitely have some extra people that we can
They love a good project.
Good.
do a lot of good
Dig in.
searching.
And we love to assign projects.
any
Yes.
funding
Yeah,
they
me
can
too.
find,
Yeah.
that would be great. you know,
Yeah, go find us some money.
Yeah. I think it also just goes a long way to showing people that everyone's trying to be frugal and committed
Yes.
to whatever funding that
Yeah.
we can find.
Yes. We have excellent support from our senator and our state rep. And we just had a meeting with her, we're going to be talking about a little bit later. So we keep her apprised of all of the things that we're working on that affect the town, such as this.
Great.
Yeah.
Is there anything the town public works or that you're aware of that people would be, either the town would be willing to do scope on the project, or
Self-performing any of the work, is that something that would ever be, would be allowed to be brought to the table? 'Cause
Well,
I-
they already have, because they tore down the building.
Right,
The existing
right.
building
Yeah.
was there, and they've, you know, added
We have a
some
very
value. Yeah.
experienced highway superintendent who
They
is
did the
happy to,
demo.
Because I found that sometimes it's, well, they'll do certain pieces of the scope, whether it's,
Yep.
certain curb cuts, certain, infrastructure of base grade or final direct paving, even sometimes.
Yep.
Saves the money, saves the markup,
Yeah.
helps the timeline. And then also out here, I've had a lot of success in Franklin County where a lot of businesses love to donate stuff to towns and good facilities. I don't know how many appliances I've gotten from a certain appliance store for so many of my projects.
good.
Because they just want to help out. And that's just kind of part of their mission for philanthropy within the community.
that would be great. That is,
Yeah, we're willing to talk about the different
Perfect.
entities in town.
and the highway superintendent would always have a really good
Yes.
opinion
They've
too
got-
on how
they've got
things
good
work,
equipment
or,
and good experience.
and
in
he's
a
been
lot
around
of
for
things.
24 years, so
Sure, he has a good survey. of
seen it, done
Yeah.
it, yeah. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Great.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate the time.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
We'll be
talking
in
to us.
touch.
Tomorrow, I
Tomorrow.
hope the select board has another
Yes.
meeting to make a decision tonight, and
Yep.
then they're going to pick a group of them to start the negotiation, some other members, and hopefully that'll start right away.
Yep.
super.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Have a
Again for
great
coming.
See you all.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Take care.
thanks for all the examples too.
Absolutely. Take care.
It's my
too.
lunchtime arts and crafts.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, and Matt's gonna come back in and talk about, his update.
He's back.
He's back.
And he's back.
You're back.
Oh, I'm in the hot seat now?
You're up.
Yeah,
Hasn't been vacant long, it's probably hot.
Probably is, yeah.
coming in hot. Hi, do you wanna give us a quick update and, we'll get into discussing and ranking?
Yes.
Yeah, go.
Very much. All
Okay,
right.
go.
So thank you all for having me, and I know we've got a ton to do, but I did feel it was important to give a quick update, brief update, important update here as we close the fiscal year and we're moving through a whole bunch of transitions beyond just this building. Overall, EMS is in a very strong operational position. We continue to provide 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week paramedic level coverage, working with all of our partners in the region. I believe we're providing really high-quality patient care, getting a lot of feedback from the community and our partners on that, which makes me really proud of all of our staff. It is probably one of the highlights of my day, just to share with you. I think we are also doing a pretty good job with fiscal responsibility. I'm just so proud of our staff, their professionalism, compassion, and dedication. To date, right now, we've responded to over 500 requests for service since January 1st, which is right on track with my estimates. Maybe even a little bit higher than what I had guessed that we would be doing. So there is a huge need, and the staff continues to just give of themselves every day and night and meet that need. Looking ahead, focuses on strengthening the organization through recruitment and retention, staff development, and advancement of our EMS facility project, and continued collaboration with our regional partners. We're looking at doing some first responder training and some other collaborative training with our 3 partner towns. Financial perspective, I'm pleased to report that it looks like we are going to be within our operating budget for the year and on target for our revenue collections based on some of my early estimates.
Oh, nice
So
being aware.
Yay.
I think the numbers are going to line up. There's still a few weeks left. We've still got a couple of pay cycles to go for bills and other things to close out the fiscal year, but I'm
Right.
pretty confident that our accountant and treasurer have given me some good numbers, and I think we're projected to be in a good fiscal place this year. We're also making meaningful progress on the fleet modernization. Our new ambulance that was approved 2 town meetings ago should hopefully be in production and to us early fall. So September, October ideally is what we're looking at. We have all of the pieces and parts ordered. We're just waiting for construction of the ambulance. It'll go to the dealer. They'll detail it, put the lettering on it, and deliver it. We're very excited to see that come. The aggressive maintenance we've been doing seems to be working. Our vehicles are operating. We seem to be having sort of a decrease month to month in maintenance costs, so that is working. Prevention actually does make a difference. The EMS response vehicle that was just approved for us, we are very excited. All of the equipment is ordered for it. Components take time. But we're hoping by fall we'll have that all put together and ready to go operational as well.
But you have the vehicle now, is that correct?
The vehicle is here. We were able to procure a 2025, so an older model year, brand new from a dealer. It was one of the last ones available before price increases and changes and stuff, so the vehicle is physically here, but we have to get all the components of lights and other equipment to go in.
Is it here in one of the bays or what?
It's currently outside the station.
Oh, okay.
We don't have enough base
Yeah, I know. I
space.
was going to say, where is it being held? Okay.
It is outside. We wash it every couple of days to make sure all the pollen and everything else is going off. We've done some mouse prevention, rodent prevention with some scent packs to try and keep it safe.
Use it for anything, or is it just sitting there?
It is sitting there. I have driven it once to get it inspected and once to a meeting where I didn't have to be operational for a few hours, and that's about it. But otherwise I can't run it really because I can't put any equipment in it. So it's here though.
And it has no lights.
And it has no lights. So that's moving forward. We're really excited for the opportunity to have both of those 2 new resources available to us. Switching gears a little bit, I need to share with you that our operations captain, Tim Drumgoole, has submitted his resignation. Tim's accepted the position of Chief of EMS for South County EMS, our very close friends to the south, where he originally came from. This has been his goal for a long time. We hoped we would have him for many more years before transitioning. And certainly disappointed to see him leave Northfield EMS, but this is a huge professional achievement for him and reflects his dedication, leadership, and commitment to our profession. He's been an integral member of our leadership team, our clinical team, and our Northfield EMS family. His contributions over the last 10 months full-time have helped to shape our department, and we are all just so grateful for his service. His absence is going to be felt, but I view his appointment as a reflection of the caliber of professionals we here at Northfield EMS, and I'm very proud that he was selected and successful in this. Congratulate him on this opportunity. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here in person with you, but he asked that I express his serious thanks and appreciation for the opportunity to be with us, the support you all provide to Northfield EMS, and for showing him what a true regional service can be and what we can achieve with collaboration between all of us. He's going to create a vacancy in our leadership team and clinical team. I'm confident we're going to be able to move forward. We're going to begin accepting applications in the next couple of weeks as soon as we can get everything posted to strengthen our team and continue building on the foundation that we have. I'm going to continue overseeing the department and operating the department, and it's
Being
just
a
going to be a
paramedic.
long summer for us. But
Yeah.
the team is absolutely banded together. They're working on different strategies for how everybody can best balance work life outside of work, so that we can continue to serve our communities. Closing with you tonight, there's a lot of challenges: workforce recruitment, rising costs, and continued development of our facility. But I believe we're in a really strong position going forward. I'm excited to enter into my 3rd year here coming up this fall with Northfield.
Really? Has it been that long?
Yeah, I know. Should we count the meetings I've been at?
Whoa, don't do that.
But I'm super optimistic. We have an amazing team in EMS, amazing partners here within the community, amazing leadership here with you all in the town, and everybody else that we work with. I think we've been really good financial stewards with our budget, which I know has been a huge topic in all of our communities, but we have a vision for the future. And in closing, I just want to say thank you to the select board, our town administrator, all of the town hall staff, and all of our employees and partners for their support. We couldn't do this without you. Happy to answer any questions you have.
So after much hullabaloo and fanfare, the temporary housing was put in, and it's been there for quite some time now. So what's the feedback? How's that working out for you and your staff?
So, simplest answer is it works. The staff have a home. They are kept out of the rain. There is climate control inside. It is a home for us. It is a very close quarters, even with the 3 people daily. That surges to 4 or 5 some days. It is fulfilling its need for the short term. It is definitely starting to show its age after a year. Coming up next month, we will have had it on site for a year now. Been doing some minor repairs and make up for it. The vendor that supports us has been overwhelmingly responsive. When we've had any sort of issues with infrastructure within it or the HVAC system or anything, they have been right here with us to help troubleshoot it and fix it, so we can't thank them enough for it. It works.
Okay.
It works is about the best I can say.
Yeah.
Not quite a house, but better than a couch.
It's not a house, but it's better than the couch that we were in.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
especially
yeah.
with HVAC.
I think it's financially responsible for us right now for what we can do. And it's keeping the calls going. We made it through the winter with it. I can't thank Tom, the highway department, for all of their work. bringing in gravel and making sure they come up with creative ways to plow for us and help with water drainage. That kind of changed a little bit with putting the trailer there. And then seeding the property
Yeah,
for the
it
building they
looks
took
good.
down next door.
Yeah.
What an overwhelming amount of work they did and to keep it beautiful and keep the dust down. So yeah, we are happy to be there. The garage, I think I had alluded to with the building committee, is needy. Trying to be responsible and do little things and put Band-Aids on where we can, but that structure itself is weathering quickly.
Gotcha.
Well, our thanks and gratitude to Tim. I already expressed my disappointment in him leaving, but I understand. And I also want to say that I think having him at South County will benefit the county overall and benefit EMS services in general, because the two major services, South County and Northfield, respond quite a bit to other parts of the county. So the fact that we're all working in unison pretty much, and it also speaks to the leadership qualities that we were looking at when he first came on board. So we extend enormous gratitude and thanks for his work and wish him well, although we're going to miss him. And we're just going to give him a hard time until he goes.
That's probably why he didn't come.
I just stopped down there last week and I was like, okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, I think we're going to move on and finish up with the OPM discussion here, and then the rest of it we can pretty much run through. I'm just looking at the time.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. We really appreciate it. Okay, so let's do the warrants real quick and the minutes, and then we're going to do the OPM stuff, and then rock and roll through the rest. So can I get a motion for the June 10th, 2026 payroll warrant of $135,673.67?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Shane, you're good with that? I'm looking. Yeah.
We lose Shane?
No, he's there. There he is. Okay. Just on silent.
I got bounced out. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. And then need a motion for June 10th, 2026 vendor warrant, $1,241,499.82, which includes our Pioneer Valley Regional School Assessment. I think that's the bulk of it at 900,000 plus. Sewer state grants and Chapter 90 paving.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And then minutes. from-
Motion to approve the
Thanks.
minutes of 5/26/2026.
So moved.
Are you seconding his
Seconded,
motion?
seconded.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I was late, but I will aye because I only missed a few of the
Ayes.
You got the
police
bulk of it.
department, John, reading the, or actually Sergeant was reading the letters.
Yep,
So I came in right after that, but
Yep.
I approved them as written.
okay. Thank you. All right, discuss, rank, vote, owner's project manager, otherwise known as OPM finalist for emergency medical services, the EMS building project.
So you need to rank them 1 and 2, and then
Yes.
at that point, we reach out to number 1 for a fee proposal.
Correct. Any initial thoughts based on, I know Shane and you are like way ahead because of your building committee work.
Correct.
Are there any initial thoughts on 1 and 2?
Between those two, I would rank CMA first.
PMA?
PMA,
The
rather.
second one?
PMS. PMA. PMA.
It's not
PMA.
PMS, it's
Not
PMA.
Was it CMA?
CMS was the first,
PMA, yes.
PMA.
PMA.
was the
Was the
second.
second.
Yes.
Yes.
So, wait a minute, who's your first? I'm sorry.
CMS,
CMS.
Construction
CMS,
Monitoring
okay.
Services.
All right.
Yeah. Let's make sure we're
You
voting on the right one.
rate the second one first or the first one first?
The second one is first.
So PMA.
PMA is your
PMA.
first choice.
Yep.
Okay.
PMA is your first choice.
That-
Okay.
That was
Bernie?
mine. That was
Okay.
mine too.
That was my first choice
All right.
also.
Shane? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah.
I think you did.
You say PMA?
PMA.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're reading lips.
Yes, I did read it.
Okay. I'm going to say PMA as well. I like the handouts. I like the interaction with us that I could envision.
The biggest thing is they are a local
And the
group,
general contract.
and they will say no to frivolous things, which is what we need to have people say about this
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, they answered all my questions before really I was able to ask them.
I know.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And the first presentation,
They've also
just
put the effort into looking forward to getting the wetlands group people in place and the surveys in place. Where the first group was pushing that onto us.
Yeah, that was a big difference I noticed too.
yeah, they're looking for money in various places. They asked if the town could help. I mean, they're very proactive, so.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought the handouts were, and the fact that they actually came prepared with one
For
for
Northfield.
Northfield, that was cool. Also, the general contractor experience among the three of them, I think is outstanding, and the fact that they have local experience and local contacts and are ready to go. They've already done their project timeline, so having been a project manager and having somebody who already has a sense of what the project timeline is supposed to be before they even start is a good sign. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to rank PMA as number 1 and CMS, otherwise known as Construction Monitoring Services, Inc., as number 2.
So
Okay,
Second.
thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. And I talked to Skip, and also you forgot to mention that you're working with Skip on the fire station OPM. You're going to use your experience to help
Yes.
him.
I was moving through my update. So at
Yeah.
the last Emergency Services Building Committee, we discussed the project management or the status of the fire department.
Right.
I'm going to start working with Chief Donnell early July to put together and modify the OPM RFQ that we did for EMS and compare it to some of the previous ones that were done so
Yeah.
that we can prepare a request for qualifications for the fire department OPM and move
Yeah.
that forward. And that was motioned and voted to move forward at the building committee. So
Okay.
that will be in the works in July. It'll go to the town administrator for tweaking and detailing and then come back for actual dissemination out. So we're
Okay.
getting close on the fire department too. They're
Okay.
Okay, so that's actually taken care of.
Good.
Excellent, thanks for helping on that. Okay, so and the reason why I mentioned Skip is because Skip is willing to be on the committee for the OPM contract negotiation for EMS. So we just need to figure out, I'm assuming we'll also have Matt, so we'll have the EMS chief and the fire chief. I'm more than happy to be on it. But we need to get it done like in the next couple of weeks so that we have this ready for July 7th.
If you didn't want to be on it, I'd be on it.
Okay.
I don't have time.
You?
My time's pretty thin right now.
Okay. We can both be on it.
You want to do that? Yeah.
Shane, when Shane's on
Oh,
vacation.
Shane. Well,
Shane's already on vacation.
but when is he back?
June 24th.
I go back on the 24th.
Well, no, do both of us. Yeah, I don't
Okay,
care.
let's do that. Then we can back each other up. And Andrea, of course.
Yeah, and I have some materials, so it's going to be you two, Matt, and Skip.
Yep.
Okay. I have some materials I'll give you to look at as a
Yep.
draft. The agreement for the project manager services from the last one.
Yep.
And the request for qualifications from the last one, and their fee response from the last one, so you can get a sense of the
what the-
structure
what it-
and how it all
sure.
worked
Okay.
previously, and then
You gonna send that to us electronically or send it to me?
Oh, I like a handout. Thank you.
And then I've got one for
Especially
Matt
this
as well,
big.
and I'll
Okay,
either make one or send one to Skip as well, whatever he likes.
okay.
And so I will notify, as we discussed with CMS, because they asked, I think the idea is to ask, and you'll see it in the Colliers one, is the cost through
The
up to
town,
construction.
oh,
Okay,
Not bid, we're not gonna bid the whole piece. So it's gonna probably be bid, up to bid, so you can know what it is, bidding and construction. So
Will
we'll
be
split
separate.
that
Yeah,
into different
into
quests, so they
phases.
can give
Segments.
us costs for each phase.
okay.
got it. Okay,
Or they can give you more costs, but you can sign on for each phase and approve them, so
okay.
I'll look at that.
All right. And then under fire department update, this was more to give us, similar to what we did the last time, and I talked to Skip tonight before the meeting, is we just wanted to provide the update on that fire was moving forward. I know some folks were concerned about whether or not fire was moving forward. So fire is going to be moving forward between the EMS chief and the fire chief on the next phase of their building needs. The job descriptions for the next level down from the fire chief, you guys all have the corrected fire chief one. Those were just minor corrections.
I'll change it from draft, I just wanted you to just see the fire
Yep.
chief ones before, if they see anything,
Yep.
but I went through and did that.
It was mostly just swapping out where it said employees, swap in fire chief.
And
So-
removing the EMT reference, the medical reference.
Emergency, yeah. And that was it. And Skip's update on standard operating guidelines is they completed their edits and they sent them to Russ Anderson, who's the consultant, and they're waiting to hear back from him.
So you mentioned that I sent out all of the others, from firefighter to lieutenant to captain to
Yep.
deputy chief, and I sent them to Skip as well. So
He got
they're-
'em.
Yeah, so they're
Yep.
reviewing them as well and come back with any.
Right, so that's a long-winded way of giving an update and saying that July 7th, we'll have Skip here and we'll actually walk through the details on those. We're not going to do all the details tonight. Okay. Any questions on that? Nope, okay. On the next one, if you recall, we talked with Recreation Commission Director Stacy Bond and the interim director that we appointed, Amanda Zellman. The RecCom actually posted for 10 days, didn't have another.
No, we did have another applicant, but when we
Right.
reached out to them, they withdrew because they took another job.
Yes.
So we didn't essentially have another applicant.
Well, we netted back out with,
Right.
they would like to move forward with Amanda
Correct.
as the summer program director. So all we're doing here is entertaining a motion to vote to approve hiring the recreation summer program director and moving her from interim status.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, update on recent meeting with Senator Comerford. We do this every few months, and it was mostly to bring her up to speed on where we are with sewer, water, public safety. So we've talked about fire, EMS, and also police, and the update that we had with Chief Hall and Sergeant Kobalinski. And then we also talked about MassDOT, and we talked about economic development. So we're going to create a couple of proactive meetings, one with MassDOT, which Senator Comerford will attend, and her director, Elena Cohen. And then we're going to do a fall meeting with the downtown working group that you're on, and invite the president of the Western Mass Economic Development Council, and Senator Comerford will attend that as well. So Senator Comerford is very interested in getting Western Mass economic development resources and people to be up in this area of the 413, so to speak. So that's it, and we just stay in touch on those efforts, and then we schedule a meeting like every few months just to see if there's something that we need. So the next key step with water is we have a meeting next week with the Grandin Water District, and the East Northfield Water Company has a meeting with DEP, Mass Department of Environmental Protection, next Monday. If we need help from Senator Comerford, she's been fully briefed. We don't think we need any help at this point, but if we do, she's already briefed and ready to go.
And we just reiterated that the Shell Bridge, we won't hear anything till late summer
Oh,
or
right.
fall on that because that grant is in.
And that's where the economic development idea
So
came from.
We
Yeah,
won't, we
thank
won't hear
you.
anything and we'll update if we do.
I knew I missed
And we let her
something.
know, we're still in transition on the fire department.
So, okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the request to reimburse loaves and fishes, not finishes, fishes, $3,000, $3,704.70 for emergency aid.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. And then I'll entertain a motion to approve the time off request. That's in here.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 We already, thank you. And we already handled citizen concerns, no topics, 48 hours. And now we're going to start, this will continue into July as well. Committee board appointments and reappointments. So under appointments, we have a motion to appoint Larry Hansen to the Zoning Board of Appeals from alternate status. He's already an alternate.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. And can I get a motion to appoint Cheryl Momini to the Flag Committee as requested by the Flag Committee?
So moved.
Second.
Do we need to put the term ending on these?
It's usually, it's a one-year term, some of
Yeah.
these.
Right, but specifically on, I just want to amend the Larry one that's the end of the calendar year. Zoning Board of Appeals is on a slightly different schedule than the
Yeah,
rest.
they're December 31st,
Yep.
2026.
Okay, otherwise assume that we're talking about
Fiscal year.
the fiscal year, which would be June 30th, 2027. So assume that for the rest. Looking to appoint Craig Hefner to the Conservation Commission.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And now reappointments, we can just do this as one big list if you like.
Sure,
Okay, do you want to do that?
sure.
Or,
I make a motion that we appoint or reappoint, you want to go one by one or just want to go agricultural?
do the whole list and then we'll, it'll be
Okay.
one motion.
Reappointment for Agricultural Commission, Jesse Robinson Dubois. For Community Preservation Commission, Sandra Campbell, Laura
Lara.
Dubin, Robert Emberley, Barbara Lemoyne, Margaret Livingstone, Victoria.
Lookshaw?
I always get her name wrong.
Lookshaw.
Lookshaw. Who's this person?
Lindsay McCarthy.
Lindsay McCarthy and Robert Perlman, all Community Preservation Commission. Conservation Commission, none.
That'll be in July then.
Okay.
Yeah, we're waiting
Flag
on-
Committee, Gail Doolittle, Robert Henry, Raymond Zukowski. Veterans Grave Officer, Dennis Brennan.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
For reappointments?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, did we have a vote for Cheryl Mommy?
Yep,
Yep.
under
Wait a minute, wait a
appointments. Yep.
Oh, those are no responses.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
rest of the, Becky's waiting on answers from, we're actually a little bit
these-
ahead of schedule on these.
Yeah, it's fine, you can do
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah,
After you made them the term and then she'll,
Okay.
then she can bring you the other ones.
yep, for July
So those are
7th.
done.
Okay, so we're done. Announcements, Town Hall is closed on Thursday, June 18th for the state Juneteenth holiday, FYI. And under recognition for service, sadly, announced the passing of Fred Fuller. And I talked to both Mike Quinn and Skip Donnell about this. Fred, basically, if you count his auxiliary and all of his different aspects of working as a firefighter, he had many decades of service as a firefighter. It's basically around 60 years with the fire department in some capacity or another in terms of volunteering. and 31 years as constable. So this is somebody who really cared deeply about Northfield and put in a lot of time and effort into Northfield. So we send our condolences out and also our recognition to the family for his service to Northfield. And then I just wanted a quick shout out to police, fire, and EMS for the June 4th accident on Gulf Road last week. I know that was it's always hard when there's a fatality. It takes a lot of time and effort and takes a lot of energy and impact on everyone involved. There was quite a few different agencies involved with this, but in talking with Sergeant Kovliemski, it was clear to me that, as usual, we have a team effort going on. But I know it was a hard day for everybody, so I reached out to all the chiefs the day after to see how folks are going, and also the state police had reached out as well to offer they have a care unit basically that will provide support for folks who need it. And that's about it.
I make a motion we adjourn
Great.
at 8:15.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Close it at 8:15. Thank you.
Have fun, Shane.